friends and Assalamualaikum. Welcome to my channel Ideal Designing Developer. My name is Inshal Beg. I am a full stack developer and graphic designer. Today I will show you how to build one taxi transportation project in artificial intelligence with Python. And I hope you will also enjoy this project of artificial intelligence like you are enjoying my previous project of data sciences. But first of all, you have to just hit the subscribe button. Then after that, you have to also hit the notification bell from which you will be getting all the notifications of my video when I will be uploading. And from that, it will be also help for you and it will be also help for me, because from there you will be learning more new things, more new clones, and more new things which I will be just uploading in future. And I hope it will be really helpful for you, because I'll be uploading many other languages tutorials and many other projects also. And I've just also uploaded previous tutorials of Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You can check that out also. And I have also uploaded React clones and React projects. You can also check that out if you want to learn React. So now we will be just starting with our project which we are just making today, which is called taxi transportation project in artificial intelligence. So for building that project, first of all, I will zoom in so you can see my codes here. So now for building that project here, first of all, we have to just link our file which we are just building in our Python package. So for linking that, first of all, we have to just make our file. So for making our file, we have to just do one thing, like we have to just go to package, like you all know. Then I'll be pressing right click on that. So just press that, hover on new or press that. Then you will be getting many options to make file, folder, directory, new scratch file, Python package, HTML file editor, config file, or resource bundle. You can also make Python file here because we are working with Python, so obviously you can just make Python file. If you are just working with HTML, so you can also work HTML here, but you can't work with here like CSS, JavaScript, or React, because that is just used in VS Code or any other text editor. This PyCharm text editor is only for Python, and you can also use HTML, but it should be also really not good because it is, like I've told you, it is for only Python. So now here you have to just write your Python file name which you are building. So simply we are building taxi transportation project in artificial intelligence. So here I'll be writing the name like transportation. So when you've done with that, here I'll be doing one thing like press enter, or if you want to just write .py after it, write that. But my opinion is to not to write, because it will be automatically save your file with the name. So I'll be pressing enter now, and you can see now our file is saved as transportation.py name. So here I'll be zoom in so you can see my codes here. So when you've done with that, here first of all we have to just link this drivenet.py file with this transportation.py file. So for linking that, first of all here I'll be now coming, then I'll be just changing that to like here. Now I'll be closing that. Then when you've done with that, here I'll be opening my local disk E, in which I've just make this folder here. Then I'll be going top to just check where it is. So it is just make like that. So this self-driving car project we have just made previously, and here I've also shown you like how to just build that thing. So here taxi transportation is also the project related to that. So because of that, I'm using this files to just work with. So when you've done that, I'll be just coming underneath. Then I'll be opening this get stats.py. Then I'll be moving that to PyCharm text editor, pressing plus to just see what imports are here. And you can see we have to just write that things. So simply I'll be going to top. Then I'll be zoom in so see my codes. Then here I'll be coming first of all writing import OS. So when you just import that, here you have to do one thing, just come here again. Then there's a import JSON. So you have to also download this JSON. Just for doing that, you have to go to your terminal, right here pip install, and like I've telling you, this pip install just used for installing anything here in your Python. So you can only use this pip install to install any library or package in your Python, but you can't just use that to just download any React or any other language library or package. You can only use that to just download Python package or library here. Like we use npm install to just install any of like React library. So like that we have to use pip install to just install any library or package here. So now when you have to just install that, just write pip install, then just write JSON. And you can also define location if the folder is coming wrong, so you can define that. Then when you will be done that, press enter and it will be just installed. It will be take some seconds because it is not any heavy, that it is of KBs. So because of that, it will be just installed too much fast. Now here we have just import JSON also. Now I'll be coming writing that to like import pandas as PD. So like I'm telling you, this pandas like this PD which we have just written after this S is the short form of this pandas here. So because of that I am writing. So you will be thinking like we have to just install that separately. So you don't have to install that, because when we just write this pandas and after that we have to just write this PD which is a short form of that. So Python or computer can understand like you are defining pandas here, so we can work with data sciences. So here I'll be going to this file again. Then we have to import numpy as same which we have just import pandas. You can also copy paste that, it will be easy for you, but just I am writing for you because if you are a beginner, so it will be just good for you when you write, because from that you will be just remembering all the codes which I am just writing, or you will be also writing that. So my opinion is for beginners to write. If you are just professional and know these codes, so you don't have to just write that, just copy paste that from above. So when you've done that, just we have to write collections. From collections, so you have to install that collections. Then when you will be install that, then you have to import counter. So you don't have to just install this counter separately, because when you will be installing this collections directory, or there you can say a folder, so it will be just automatically install this counter with that here. So now I'll be going to get stats.py, and then we are just getting 3 columns here in which I'll be writing my comment. Then I'll be writing that. Now you can see automatically it's create 2-3 strings, you can say. Then I'll be coming underneath here, and if I just move here, so you can see there's an script. So here I'll be just writing that to like script is, and here I'll be writing same things which we have just written here in this comment. So here I'll be writing that to, and if I just move here, so here I'll be writing iterate, and here I'll be now coming, then I'll be writing overall training. So when you've done with that, just I'll be moving forward here, then I'll be writing that to like data, and I'll be writing and providing. Okay, so I'll be checking that it is written, so there's written and provide some. Then if I just move, so you can see there's written insights, so here I'll be writing that. Then here I'll be coming underneath, changing that to like the result, and when you've done with that, here I'll be moving forward. Then if I just move to this get stats.py, so you can see there's written of this script. Then I'll be moving forward again, changing that to like will be plotted. So here I'll be moving forward again, changing that to like as an image. So when you've done with that things, here I'll be moving. So when you've done with that, just when you've done that, I'll be coming here, writing and JSON file, and I'll be just moving forward here, and then change that to like if I just come here, so you can see there's written like will. So I'll be coming underneath now, then I'll be changing that to like be saved with here I'll be now coming, then here I'll be writing all stats. So here I'll be now writing full stop, then I'll be now coming underneath, and here when you've done with that, just I'll be going to 14 line, and here I'll be now writing. So if I just move here, so you can see this, then get stats. So here I'll be now writing this brackets here, and then change that to like path file name. So here I'll be writing that. Now when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming, then I'll be just changing that to this sign, and here I'll be just coming now, and then writing that to like returns. So here I'll be writing that returns, and I'll be just moving forward here and changing that to like key stats, and here I'll be now moving forward again, changing that to like in data. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming underneath, and when you've done with that, just I'll be writing that to like arcs. Then I'll be coming here, but before that, here it is not written this sign, so I'll be doing one thing like erasing this 3 things which we have just written till here. Now when you've done with that, just I'll be now writing path here, which we have to just define. So just I'll be writing path, and if I just move here, so you can see this 10 this sign, then I'll be writing str tag in this bracket which we have to just write. Then I'll be writing path, which should be in capital, simply I'll be writing that. Then I'll be moving to get stats.py file again, then you can see there's 2.npy file, but it should be space from here, then I'll be writing. So when you've done that, just I'll be moving forward again. Then when you've done with that, just I'll be writing like post data. So here I'll be writing, I'll be moving forward here, and when you've done with that, just I'll be now coming, and then here I'll be changing that to like stats. So here I'll be writing that are required. So now I'll be just coming underneath here, and when you've done with that, here I'll be now writing file name, and if I just move forward, so you can see there's an str in bracket again, then I'll be writing semicolon and move forward again, the same thing which we have written at the top. I'll be writing file name with the place of path. Then when you've written that, just I'll be coming here and writing that will be. So just I'll be writing that, move forward again and change that to like added. And here when you've done that, just move here again, change that to like to the JSON file. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming underneath, and then I'll be just coming underneath again and changing that to like returns, which we have just written here, writing semicolon and just coming underneath here, and I'll be writing that too. I'll be moving forward here, and then I'll be just doing one thing like here I'll be coming, writing that to like stats, writing semicolon here, then I'll be just doing one thing like here I'll be writing click, and I'll be writing now semicolon again, moving forward here, then I'll be doing one thing like I'll be writing that to like path. But here if I just show you, so you can see there is written like stats if, and there's done stats. So here I'll be writing that. So when you've done that, just I'll be now moving forward, and you can see there's done like of the data file. Here I'll be moving forward now. Then you can see there's done like past, and here I'll be just moving. Then you can see there's done in path org. So here I'll be writing that. So when you've done with that thing, now here I'll be coming. Then here is written arg, not org. So here I'll be writing that. So simply I'll be doing one thing now. Here I'll be coming underneath. Then again I'll be just pressing enter. But before that there is not any enter after this. So here I'll be writing raises. Then here I'll be coming underneath. Then you can see this is just written up underneath this is stat. So here I'll be writing like value error. So just write that. Then I'll be writing semicolon. Moving forward I'll be writing if unknown, and here I'll be just moving forward again. Then I'll be changing that to like element, and when you've done that, just I'll be writing that to like is, and here when you've done that, just I'll be coming. Then I'll be writing found in data. So when you've done with that, here I'll be just doing one thing like coming here, writing and just closing that here, because now it is done. So when you've done with that, you can see now we have to just print that all things till here which we have just written. So these are not any of the tags, we are just writing that here with the help of commit. So we can just remember what tags we are just writing. So here I'll be writing getting. Then if I just move forward, so you can see this then like getting stats. So here I'll be writing that. So when you've done that, just I'll be now writing that to like for, and if I just move, so you can see this then file name here. So just write that. Then I'll be writing 3 dots after that. Now I will be just coming underneath here, writing that to like data equal np dot, and if I just move here, so you can see this then load path, and here I'll be writing dot. And now when you've done with that, just I'll be now changing that to like allow. So here I'll be writing that. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be now coming, then I'll be changing that to like allow pickle, and here I'll be writing equal to true. So here I'll be just writing that. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now coming underneath, changing that to like df equal dd dot, and here I'll be just coming changing that to like data frame. So when you've done with that, here I'll be just doing one thing like coming here and changing that to like data again. Then I'll be now coming underneath here, changing that to like c equal counter, and here I'll be just doing one thing coming here and writing that to like df. In square bracket I'll be writing 2. Then I'll be just writing that to like apply, and in bracket I'll be writing str. Then I'll be just simply coming underneath here, writing that to for element, and here I'll be just doing one thing like I'll be now writing that to like count, and here I'll be just moving forward here again, writing that to nc items, and I'll be just coming here, writing here like this brackets, then writing semicolon and just coming underneath here, and you can see this then like if element, and here when you've done with that, just I'll be moving here, writing that to like this sign, then I'll be writing 1 comma 0, and here I'll be also writing, then I'll be just closing that here. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now writing semicolon and just coming underneath, writing that to like left count, and here I'll be just writing equal to. Then when you've done with that, just I'll be writing count. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be pressing backspace, then I'll be writing that to like elif element. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now coming here, writing equal, then I'll be just writing this colon here, writing that to like 0, and here I'll be writing 1 and then 0. So when you've done that, just if I move, so you can just see one thing like here we have just written string here, so here also I'll be writing, and when you've done with that, now here I'll be writing semicolon, then I'll be just coming underneath here, you can see there's done straight count. So here I'll be writing straight underscore count equal, and if I just move here, so you can see there's done count here, so I'll be writing that. So when you've done that, just I'll be moving here now, then you can see there's done elif element, here I'll be writing equal, then I'll be writing in string square bracket again, and when you've done with that, just if I move, so you can see there's done 0, and I'll be writing 1. So when you've done with that, here now I'll be writing this to like semicolon, coming here writing right count equal, then here I'll be just moving, changing that to count. So when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming, then I'll be writing that to else, coming underneath here, and then I'll be changing that to like raise value error. So when you've done with that, now just I'll be moving, then here I'll be coming underneath, writing that to like total, and here when you've done that, just I'll be moving now, changing that to like total count equal, then here I'll be changing that to like left count, and I'll be writing equal to, and when you've done with that, here now I'll be writing that to like plus right count, I'll be writing plus, and then when you've done that, just I'll be writing straight count. So when you've done that, just I'll be changing that spelling to like correct because the spelling is incorrect. Now it is good. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be doing one thing, like I'll be coming underneath, then I'll be changing that to like file size, and I'll be writing MB, which will be in capital. Just I'll be writing equal to round. So just write that. Then I'll be writing brackets here, and in this bracket I'll be writing OS dot path. So just write that without square bracket, you have to just write. Then just write here get size here, which should be just like that. Then I'll be writing this brackets here because in this bracket I have to define my path. Then I'll be writing this multiply sign when you'll be pressing shift and 8, so it will be coming. Then I'll be writing this, then by writing this multiply sign 2 times, write -6 here, and if I just move forward, you can see this, then comma 2. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be coming underneath, then here I'll be writing that to like stats equal, and if I just move, so here I'll be scroll down, then you can see this, then like left count here, so I'll be writing that, then I'll be writing comma, and if I just move here, so you can see this, then right count, so just write that, then write comma again, then if I just move forward, so you can see this, then straight count, and here I'll be writing comma again, then moving forward, and just I'll be changing that to like total count. So just write that, and when you're done with that things, here I'll be just moving by writing that, and you can see there's then file size MB. So here I'll be writing again file size MB. So when you've done that, just now I'll be coming underneath, and then here I'll be writing that to like stats, and here I'll be writing equal to, then I'll be just changing that to like this sign, and then I'll be coming underneath, changing that to like file name. And when you're done with that, here I'll be just doing one thing, like I'll be moving forward here, then I'll be writing file name, and I'll be just coming underneath here, writing that to like left count. So here I'll be writing, so when you've done that, just I'll be writing this sign again, then if I just move, so you can see there's 10 comma again, then I'll be just coming here, and there's 10 left count comma, then I'll be just coming underneath, and I'll be just writing this like sign, then I'll be writing right count here, and then I'll be writing this sign and moving forward, and you can see this 10 right count. So just I'll be writing that, writing comma, then I'll be just writing this one string here again, then write that to like straight, here I'll be writing that to like straight count. So when you're done with that, here I'll be writing semicolon, then I'll be just moving forward here, and you can see now there's done like straight. So here I'll be writing that to like a straight count, writing comma, and just coming underneath. So when you've done with that, just I'll be writing here like total count, then just write this semicolon and just move forward here, which should be just written like total count. So when you've done that, just I'll be now coming underneath, and here if I just move, so you can see there's 10 T in small, so here I'll be writing. So you can just see one thing, when I'm just writing T capital or small or anything capital or small in not the starting, so there is coming error. So take care about one thing here, because if you just do one thing wrong, so all the things will be just incorrect for you. So this is a bad, this will be just really bad thing in Python if you are just doing mistake anything. So just you have to do that. So when you've done that, just I'll be changing that to size because there it's not MB. Then I'll be writing that to file size MB. So now when you've done with that, just I'll be coming here, so you can see now it is good. So here we have to just print that. Now I'll be now coming underneath, then I'll be writing a print tag here simply, then just writing bracket here, and in this print tag I'll be writing f bot. Then if I just move here, so you can see this, then stats for, and here I'll be now writing this bracket here, space given here, then I'll be writing file name. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now moving here, changing that to \n. So here now I'll be coming underneath, then I'll be doing one thing like writing return stats, and when you've done with that, just I'll be coming underneath here, and then I'll be doing one thing like I'll be writing def main, and here I'll be just writing that to like this sign, writing here like max, and then I'll be just coming here, writing that to like batch. So when you've done that, just I'll be writing equal to, writing that to like init input, and then when you're done with that, just I'll be now coming here, changing that to like enter, and then I'll be writing that to like enter maximum, and then if I just move forward, so you can see there's that batch number. So I'll be writing that, then I'll be just writing simply like that. So when you've done with that thing, here I'll be just writing that to like data dict equal, and then here I'll be coming writing that to like dict, and I'll be writing this bracket again. Now here I'll be just coming changing that to like data list, and here I'll be writing equal, and when you've done with that, just I'll be writing list here, then I'll be writing this brackets and coming underneath, and now when you've done with that, just I'll be writing total, and just I'll be now writing this underscore and changing that to like raw stats, and here I'll be writing equal to. When you've done that, if I just move here, so you can see this and this brackets, and I'll be just coming underneath here, and then I'll be writing here like file name. So just write that. I'll be writing semicolon and just moving forward here, and just I'll be writing that to like total, and then I'll be moving forward here again, writing that to raw data. So just I'll be writing raw data. So when you've done that, just I'll be now writing this semicolon here. So you can see there's not written any semicolon, just I'll be writing comma here. Then I'll be doing one thing like I'll be writing left count, and when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing this semicolon, and just I'll be writing 0 comma. Then I'll be just doing one thing like coming here, writing that to like right count. So here I'll be writing that. So when you're done with that, here I'll be just doing one thing like writing that to 0 again. Then I'll be just coming underneath and changing that to like straight. So here I'll be writing that straight count, and here I'll be writing the one thing like I'll be writing comma, and then coming underneath writing that to like total count, and then I'll be doing one thing like here I'll be writing that to 0 comma again. Then I'll be just coming underneath here again, then I'll be writing that to like file size. So just write that, and when you're done with that, here I'll be writing bracket in which I'll be writing MB. So if I just move here, so you can see this done same thing, just write 0 here. So you can see we have just written that all things. Now if I just scroll down, here it is good, so you can just write with that. Now here I'll be coming underneath, writing that to for I in range. Then when you're done with that, here I'll be now moving, then just I'll be writing here like 1 comma, and here I'll be writing like max fetch. And when you're done with that, just I'll be moving here and changing that to +1. Then here I'll be now writing semicolon, just coming underneath and writing that to like raw file path. So when you're done with that, just write that to like equal. And if I just move forward, so you can see this and f data, and here I'll be just changing that to like this slash here, but there we'll be just writing that to like backslash training. And when you've done that, just I'll be now coming here, writing that to like data here. So just I'll be doing one thing like that. Then I'll be now coming here and just I'll be changing that to like sign I. Then here I'll be doing one thing, just coming here, writing that to .npy. Then I'll be just moving here and just I'll be writing that to raw file path. Then I'll be writing equal to. Then when you've done that, just I'll be writing batch, and here I'll be just coming, then I'll be writing that to like I. So here I'll be just writing that. Now when you've done that, just I'll be coming underneath, and then when you've done with that, I'll be writing bell file name, and here I'll be writing equal to f. And then when you've done with that, just I'll be writing that to like data training, and here I'll be just doing one thing like here I'll be now writing underscore. Then if I just move here, so you can see this time data underscore, and then I'll be writing I. And when you're done with that, here I'll be now coming, then writing that to balanced, and here I'll be writing that to like npy. So when you've done with that things, here I'll be writing bell file, and here I'll be just coming, then here I'll be changing that to file path. So here when you've done that, just I'll be now moving forward again, then there's done path, so here I'll be writing that, and there is written name, so just simply write. So when you've done with that, here now I'll be just coming, then I'll be doing one thing like writing that to like batch, and here I'll be just doing one thing, coming here, writing that to like underscore I. Then here I'll be writing backend. So when you've done that, just I'll be now writing that to like balance, so there is written that. So when you've done with that things, here now I'll be just coming underneath, then I'll be just doing one thing here like write that to raw stats, and here I'll be just written that. So simply I'll be now writing that to like get stats, and then I'll be writing this bracket here by just opening that. Now when you've done that, just I'll be coming here, writing that to like raw file path. So when you've done with that, here now I'll be just coming, writing that to like raw file name. So here I'll be just writing that to like raw file name. Then when you've done that, just I'll be now coming, then I'll be changing that to like bell stats, and here I'll be writing equal to. Then I'll be just moving here and changing that to like get stats. And now when you've done with that, just I'll be now moving here, then I'll be just changing that to a tag which should be like bell file path. So here I'll be writing that. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now moving here, writing that to like bell, and here I'll be writing file name. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now moving here, then here I'll be just doing one thing like coming here again, then here I'll be coming underneath, and when you've done that, just I'll be changing that to a tag which should be like total. Then here I'll be writing underscore, and then I'll be changing that to raw stats. So when you've done that, just I'll be coming here, and you can see there's a left count here. So just I'll be writing that to like left count, And when you've done with that things here, if I just move, so you can see we have just written that. So simply I'll be writing plus equal. Then here I'll be changing that to raw stats, and here I'll be writing a square bracket. Then you can see in which we have just written left count. So when you've done with that, if I just move here, so you can see we have just not written any of the columns. So simply I'll be coming here, writing that to like total raw status again. Then I'll be writing semicolon here, writing that to like right count, writing here another thing which should be plus equal raw stats. Then I'll be writing here like right count. So when you've done with that, simply I'll be just doing one thing now, coming underneath here, and then I'll be writing total raw stats. Then I'll be writing like that. So when you've done that, just I'll be writing that to like straight count. So just write that correctly like that. I'll be writing that. So when you've done with that, just I'll be doing one thing like I'll be writing that to like plus equal raw stats, and just I'll be doing one thing like here I'll be writing straight count. So when you've done that, just I'll be now coming underneath writing total raw stats. Then I'll be now writing this column here and changing that to total count. And when you've done with that, just I'll be now writing plus equal raw stats. So just I'll be writing that. So when you've done with that, just I'll be doing one thing like here now I will be changing that to like that. And when you've done that, just I'll be writing total count. And now when you've done with that, just I'll be coming underneath, and here I'll be changing that to total raw stats, and here I'll be now writing this sign, writing that to like file size, and here I'll be writing empty. So just I'll be writing plus equal raw stats, and then I'll be writing that to like file size, which should be MB. So here I'll be just writing that. And when you've done with that things, now just I'll be moving here, and you can see we have just done that. Here I'll be coming underneath, then I'll be writing underscore here, changing that to like list dot append. Then I'll be writing this bracket here, then I'll be writing that to like raw stats, and just I'll be now coming underneath and changing that to like data, and I'll be writing list. And when you've done that, just I'll be writing dot append. Then I'll be coming here, changing that to bell stats. So here I'll be writing. So when you've done that, just now I will be coming underneath and writing that to like final, write that to like final data. And if I just move here, so you can see there is written like final data, and here there is not any space. So you can see there is written like final data underscore. So just I'll be doing one thing like I'll be writing underscore stats equal. And if I just move here, so you can see there's written get stats. So just move here again, then I'll be just moving here, and then I'll be changing that to like data, and I'll be writing that to like file. And here when you've done that, just I'll be changing that to like final data dot npy. So just when you've done with that, I'll be moving here now again, then I'll be changing that to comma final data. Then here I'll be just coming, then changing that to a tag which will be just like coming underneath here. Then here I'll be just writing that to like total raw stats. So just I'll be writing that, but before that here I'll be changing this dash to underscore here. So when you've done that, just I'll be writing equal to. Then when you've done with that, I'll be coming here and changing that to like there's not anything like that equal. Then I'll be coming here, writing that to like file size MB. Then when you've done with that, here I'll be now coming, writing equal round, and here I'll be writing this bracket, and then in that I'll be writing total new stats. And when you've done with that here, and you've done that, just I'll be writing that to like file size MB. Then when you've done with that, here you have to do one thing again, like I'll be coming writing comma 2. So here I'll be just coming underneath, then I'll be just doing one thing here, like writing that to like data list here, but it should be underscore. Then I'll be writing that to dot append. Now here I'll be just writing this brackets here, and now coming underneath, changing that to a tag which will be like total raw stats. Then just I'll be coming underneath here, and then I'll be doing one thing here, like I'll be changing that to like data list, and here I'll be writing that to like dot append. And when you've done with that, here I'll be just coming, then I'll be changing that to like here I'll be now writing like final data. So here I'll be writing final data stats. So you can see we have just written that. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be just doing one thing, like coming underneath here, then I'll be changing that to like data underscore tick. And here when you've done with that things, I'll be just doing one thing, like coming here, then I'll be changing that to like stats, and here I'll be just writing that to like equal data list. So just I'll be writing that. but before that I'll be writing underscore, then I'll be just coming underneath writing with open, and here I'll be just coming then changing that to like with open data, and here when you've done that just I'll be changing that to like stats dot json, because it is a JSON file which we are working with. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be writing comma w, then here I'll be just coming, then you can see this done as app, and then I'll be coming underneath writing that to like json dot dump, then here I'll be just doing one thing like writing this bracket, changing that to data equal underscore dict. So just write that, and when you've done with that just I'll be coming here writing f index, then I'll be just writing this sign indent there is written, so here I'll be writing equal 4. So when you've done with that things, here I'll be now coming, there I'll be just doing one thing here like I'll be just coming here, then I'll be just writing that to a tag like if underscore name, then I'll be writing underscore again, moving forward here writing equal underscore main, and here also then semicolon, and just coming underneath here you can see this and main. So when you've done with that just save here by going to file and press save. So when you've done with that just you have to do another thing like, now here you can see we have just defined till here. So now I will be just doing one thing like I'll be going to this get stats.py file. So till here it is done. Now we have just linked this file. We have to just link another file so we can just extract our data. So just I'll be going here again. Then I'll be just opening this separate underscore data.py file here, and I'll be moving that to my PyCharm text editor. So you can see we have just moved this file. So this contains some of the codes here we don't have to just use. So we'll be just writing this some of the codes which is contains, then it will be just good to go. So here I'll be zoom out so you can see my code, because previous when I have just do previous projects, so in that my face cam was just coming at the right and you can't see my codes. So I think now you can just see, and till here we have just done till here you can see. So here I'll be scrolling down, then if I just come here, so you have to do one thing like go to the top where you have just import that things, because now here we have to just import OS again. So if you have just already import numpy, so you don't have to just import, because here we have just already import. So here it is also written, so just don't import that again. Now I will be just coming, then I'll be doing one thing like here I'll be coming at the last, and here I'll be just coming underneath. So here I'll be now writing this 3 columns here, and just I'll be coming underneath here, and then when you're done with that just I'll be writing that to like used, and here I'll be just writing used of, and when you've done that just write that to like use to separate, and here I'll be just moving forward, and then I'll be just doing one thing like here I'll be writing e, then I'll be just moving forward, changing that to like the road images, and then I'll be just moving forward here and changing that to like alone from, and when you've done that just I'll be moving forward writing that to like final data dot npy. Then when you've done with that just I'll be doing one thing like here I'll be coming, then I'll be just coming underneath again, then you can see this then final data dot dir. So here I'll be writing final data underscore dir equal, then I'll be just moving here, I'll be now writing c, and I'll be just doing one thing here like here I'll be writing users, and when you've done that just I'll be now coming here and changing that to like water, and when you've done that just I'll be doing one thing now, here I'll be now coming, then I'll be just changing that to a tag which should be like Python projects, because here I have just stored my file. So you can also define any of your location where you have just stored that. So here now I'll be writing self-driving car, like I'm telling you in this folder I have just stored that. So here I'll be moving forward, then you can see this and like data, so just I'll be writing that, then I'll be writing again this 2 backslash, then changing that to final data dot npy. So when you've done with that thing, simply I'll be coming underneath here, then I'll be just moving back, and you can see this and like org. Okay, so here I'll be writing that, then when you've done that just if I move, so you can see this written data equal, then here I'll be changing that to like np load, then I'll be writing brackets here again, simply I'll be writing that to like final data dir, then if I just take that, so here you have to write like allow equal equal true. So here when you've done that just I'll be now coming underneath, and then here when you've done with that just I'll be now writing road. Okay, so now it is good. So here now I'll be changing that to like road underscore data equal, so here we have to just write underscore, so I'll be just writing that data equal, and then when you've done that just I'll be moving that to like np dot array, and here I'll be just writing brackets, and when you've done with that just I'll be now changing that to like I for, then when you've done that just I'll be moving that to like I comma underscore, and when you're done with that, just I'll be now changing that to comma underscore again. Then I'll be just moving forward here and changing that to in, and here I'll be writing that to like org, changing that to data. So when you're done with that, just I'll be now coming underneath here. So when you're done with that, just I'll be moving here and changing that to like print, and here I'll be now writing brackets again. Then I'll be changing that to like road underscore data dot shape. So when you're done with that, just I'll be now coming here, and then here I'll be coming underneath, and when you're done with that, then you can see there's done like if dot os dot path. Then I'll be now writing brackets here, and when you're done with that, just I'll be now doing one thing like here I'll be writing dot exists, and then I'll be now changing that to this thing, and then I'll be writing this as here. And when you're done with that, just I'll be now changing that to like data. So here I'll be writing that. Now here I'll be now writing that to like this, and here I'll be writing os make this. And when you're done with that, just I'll be now changing that to this tag and writing that to like data. And then when you've done that, just I'll be now coming underneath, and then I'll be changing that to np.save, and here I'll be now writing this bracket here, changing that to like data. And I'll be just doing one thing like here I'll be now changing that to like backslash, and here I'll be changing that to like road underscore data, and here I'll be just writing underscore again. Then here we have to just write dot npy, there is not underscore here. Then if I just move, so you can see there's an road data which we have just defined at the top. Now you have to just come underneath, change and print that here. So just I'll be printing road, and just write here like road data save. So when you're done with that, just I'll be writing this exclamation mark, then coming underneath, and you can see till here we have just defined. So when you're done with that, now simply I'll be saving that, and now here I'll be closing this file because we have just defined this data. Then I'll be opening this, closing here, and then I'll be just doing one thing like here I'll be opening this startgame.py and moving that to PyCharm text editor. So when you've done with that, now here you have to just do one thing like I'll be coming here, and then I'll be just zoom in so see you can see my codes. Then here I'll be doing one thing like I'll be going to top and coming here, changing that to like import time, and I'll be importing some of the other things. So just you can install that if you don't have by going to terminal, write pip install time, then write import countdown, and here I'll be just doing one thing like I'll be moving forward, and then here I'll be writing import countdown. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now not importing that thing because if I just import, so it will be given error. So I'm just already working with that, so because of that I don't have to just import that things. Now simply I'll be coming underneath, and you can see there it is written another thing which should be like def left. So here I'll be writing that. So when you've done that, just I'll be writing this bracket, writing semicolon, coming underneath, write that to like press key. And when you've done that, just I'll be now coming here, and then I'll be doing one thing like here I'll be writing that to like left. And when you've done that, just now you have to come underneath again, change that to like time dot sleep, and then I'll be writing 0.1, and if I just come here, so you can see there's been like that. Now I will be just coming underneath here, and when you've done that all thing, just I'll be now coming, so we don't have to just do that things here. So simply I'll be doing one thing, I'll be closing this file, moving to here again, then I'll be opening this test model.py, moving that to PyCharm text editor. So now till here we have just done that. So here I have to do one thing, just I'll be moving here, and then I'll be zoom in. So till here I'll be writing that. So now here I'll be coming, then I'll be writing that to like back main, and if I just do that simply, then I'll be writing this brackets here, and here I'll be changing that to like that thing. Then I'll be just moving to this file, and you can see there's done countdown. So here I'll be writing that. So when you're done with that, here now I'll be changing that to this bracket. Then if I just move, so you can see there's done 5. So when you've done with that, now here I'll be just doing one thing like coming here, writing that to post equal false. So here when you've done with that thing, now I will be just coming underneath, then I'll be writing that to like while true, writing semicolon, coming underneath here, writing that to if not post, and here I'll be just doing one thing like I'll be coming here, and then I'll be just changing that to like screen. So just write that to like screen, and when you've done with that, just I'll be moving here, changing that to equal grab screen, and here when you've done that, just I'll be now changing that to like region. So here I'll be now coming, then I'll be just doing one thing like I'll be writing equal 270 comma, then here I'll be changing that to 250 650, then I'll be writing comma again, changing that to 450. So when you've done with that, this I'll be now coming underneath, writing that to like minimap equal, then I'll be just moving here, changing that to like grab screen. So when you've done with that, here now I'll be writing this bracket here, changing that to region, and here I'll be writing equal to writing this bracket here, writing 100, 390, then I'll be writing comma again, changing that to 230 and 490. So when you've done with that, this I'll be now coming underneath, and here I'll be writing that to like screen equal, and here if I just come, so you can see this then CV2. So just I'll be writing that dot resize, then I'll be writing this bracket here, and then I'll be changing that to like screen comma, then I'll be writing this brackets here, then I'll be changing that to a tag which will be 200 comma 80, and I'll be now coming underneath again, changing that to like screen equal CV2 dot, and here I'll be coming, then changing that to CVT color. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now coming, then changing that to like screen comma, and then when you've done that, just I'll be moving forward, writing that to CVT color, and here if I just come, so you can see there it is written like CVT color. So just I'll be first of all doing one thing, coming here, writing dot color, and then I'll be writing underscore and writing that to like BGB. So if I do that here, so there's done BGR2 RGB. So if I do that here, so you can see we have just written correct. Then I'll be coming here, writing that to screen equal, then I'll be just coming here, writing that to screen dot, and if I just do that, so here you can see there's done reshape. So here I'll be writing that, writing this brackets here, and then I'll be changing that to like dot 1 comma, and then if I just move, so you can see there's done 80 comma 200 comma 3. So when you've done with that, just I'll be moving here, writing that to dot s type, then I'll be writing this bracket here, and then I'll be just changing that to like np dot float. Okay, so there's an np, so here I'll be writing np dot float, and when you've done with that, just I'll be now changing that to like 32, and now I will be just coming underneath here, writing that to minimap equal, and when you've done that, just I'll be now changing that to like cv2 dot resize, and here just I'll be coming, then I'll be doing one thing, like here I'll be writing that to like minimap, and then when you've done that, just I'll be writing comma, writing this bracket here, changing that to 50 comma 50, then I'll be just coming underneath, and then I'll be just doing one thing, like writing minimap again equal cv2 dot, and if I just come here, so you can see there's time like cv2 cvd color. So just I'll be writing that, and when you're done with that, just now I'll be writing this bracket, and then I'll be writing that to like minimap comma, and then I'll be writing this bracket, and just there's not written any bracket, so I'll be writing cv2 color, and I'll be writing same thing which we have just written, just write minimap again, write cv2 dot, and here if I just come, so you can see there is written bg2 gray. So just I'll be writing that. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now coming, and then I'll be just doing one thing, like here I'll be now just writing that to minimap. So here I'll be writing minimap dot reshape, and when you've done with that, just I'll be doing one thing, coming here, writing that to 1 comma, then I'll be changing that to 50 comma 50 comma 1. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now moving forward here, and then I'll be just doing one thing, like I'll be writing as type, then I'll be writing bracket again, writing that to np dot float, and here when you've done with that, just I'll be changing that to 32. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now doing one thing, like writing that to screen, then I'll be giving space here, writing this multiply sign, writing equal to 1 slash 255. So just write screen here again, simply just write this sign, write equal to forward, write same thing which you have just written here. So just come underneath, and I'll be writing full stop here after that, and when you've done that, just I'll be now coming underneath again, and then I'll be writing that to like prediction equal, move forward, change that to like drive mat. So just I'll be writing that, then I'll be writing dot, and if I just move, so you can see this then predict. So here I'll be writing that, write this bracket here, and then I'll be just changing that to like screen. So just write that here. So when you've done that, just I'll be now writing comma, write that to like minimap, and when you've done with that, just I'll be now coming, changing that to like 0. So just I'll be writing that. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now coming, and then I'll be just doing first of all one thing, like here I'll be raising that, and here I'll be writing 0, then I'll be just coming underneath here and changing that to like decoded, and here I'll be writing equal to, then change that to like crash net, and here I'll be writing dot, and when you've done with that, just I'll be writing predict, and then I'll be writing this brackets here, and then I'll be changing that to screen, and then I'll be writing 0. So when you've done that, just I'll be now coming underneath here. So when you've done with that, just I'll be changing that to like mse equal, then here I'll be just coming, then changing that to like np dot mean. So when you're done with that, just I'll be now writing this brackets here, and then I'll be moving here, writing that to screen, comma, and when you've done that, just I'll be changing that to like minus p coded. So just write that, and when you've done with that things, now here I'll be just coming, and then I'll be changing that to like a tag which should be this, and then I'll be writing 2. So here you can see we have just defined that all things which we need to. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now doing one thing here. I'll be now coming, then here I'll be coming underneath writing if, and here I'll be just changing that to like np dot argmax. So here I'll be writing that. When you've done with that, just I'll be now changing that to like prediction. So just I'll be writing. So when you've done with that, just I'll be moving forward, writing that to equal 0. Then I'll be now writing this sign and coming underneath, changing that to left, and here I'll be now writing this sign. Then when you've done that, just I'll be writing elif. Then I'll be moving forward, writing that to np.argmax. And when you've done with that, just I'll be now moving forward again. Then I'll be writing prediction. Then when you've done that, just I'll be writing equal 1. Then just write semicolon, just come underneath, write that to straight. So just I'll be writing that. And when you've done with that, just I'll be now closing, and then I'll be writing elif again. Then if I just move, so you can see this then np argmax. Then I'll be now writing this brackets here, writing that to like prediction. And when you've done that, just I'll be writing equal, then moving forward, writing that to 2. So just I'll be now coming underneath, changing that to right, and then I'll be writing this brackets here. So till here we have just done, you can see that. So when you've done with that, just I'll be now coming here, then I'll be just moving backwards, and you can see this then if mse, and then I'll be just doing one thing. First of all, here I'll be writing equal, then here I'll be changing that to like another tag which should be like that, and here I'll be writing that. So you can see we have done that. So here I'll be writing now semicolon coming underneath, writing print tag, and I'll be writing f. Then here I'll be changing that to like warning. So just write that. So when you've done with that, just I'll be coming here and writing that to like mse. And when you've done with that, just I'll be writing that to like mse here, writing semicolon here, and then I'll be changing that to like .4f. And when you've done with that things, here I'll be coming underneath, and then I'll be changing that to win sound dot, and here I'll be changing that to beep. So just I'll be writing that, and then I'll be writing this brackets here, right, changing that to 1025. Then here I'll be coming writing that to like frequency, so it is a short form of that. Then I'll be writing duration. So when you've done with that things, here I'll be now coming underneath, and then here I'll be just doing one thing like coming here and then pressing backspace. Here also write keys equal. Then if I just come, so you can see there's then key check. So just I'll be writing that. So here I'll be writing brackets and coming underneath, and here when you've done that, just I'll be writing if key, and here I'll be moving forward, changing that to keys, and then I'll be coming underneath here, and here it is written if cost. So when you're done with that, now just I'll be coming here, and then I'll be writing that to like cost, and here I'll be just doing one thing like coming here, and then here I'll be just doing one thing equal false. So just write that. So when you're done with that things, now here you have to do like that. So you can see we have just done that. Now I'll be just saving that all things until here we have just done that also, you can see that. So now when you're done with that, just you have to do one thing like write print, and now here in this print tag I'll be writing unpaused. So just write that. So now it is done. So till here we have just done, and our taxi transportation project in artificial intelligence will be just ready. You will be just checking and running that here, or you can also run that in terminal or command prompt, or you can also just run that in shell, in PowerShell. So like that you can just build, and you can just run that and check that's working or not. So like that you can just build your own taxi transportation project in artificial intelligence in Python. And I hope you also enjoy this project, and I hope you understand that also, like you check my previous project of React, JS and Python also. So just I'll be building in next project. So for today, good, bye.